Hey y'all, welcome back to the Southern Cottage. I'm Connie and I'm cleaning up my craft room. I'm cleaning up the space up front, and I came across this and I was like, hey, I filmed that and I never uploaded it. So I went back to September of last year and found all of my footage, and I'm gonna give it to you now. It's the perfect time. So let's get into this. All right, we've all seen these metal buckets from the Dollar Tree with the twine around the top. I just removed that to make it easier to paint. I used Waverly in plaster, and this took 2 coats to get it completely covered. I went ahead and painted under where the twine was. I'm going to add that back on later on, and I didn't want the metal or the glue showing through. And now I've got one of these bright orange pumpkins. I do not like that color. This is Waverly in moss, and this is going to take 2 coats to get complete coverage, to get rid of all of that orange. I'm painting the second pumpkin in the ocean color. I really love this blue. It's really vibrant. All of these pumpkins are going to take 2 coats to get complete coverage. And the last one I'm doing in pumpkin, mixed with a little bit of the plaster to dull it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take some Waverly white wax and a chippy brush and just put a little bit and just start smearing it on there. And then I will take a paper towel and bring it out a little bit. Just wipe it off until it looks like you want it to look. You can leave more down in the ridges, but this just mutes the color a little bit, and it'll go better with what I've got going on in my house. So they all turned out really pretty. This is the first and last time so far that I've used this white wax. So now I'm going to go put the twine back on the bucket. I'm just using the same twine, y'all. Hot glue it back on and wrap that sucker back around. I tried taping it off. I didn't show y'all that, but I tried taping it, and yeah, it was too much of a pain in the butt. So I just pulled the twine off. And then we are going to fill this bucket up with styrofoam. Y'all, most of this stuff came from the Dollar Tree, except for, you know, my paint, the pit berries later, maybe the Spanish moss. But most all of the stuff came from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to cut this to fit. I wanted a solid piece in the middle to hold my dowel. And then I'm just going to hot glue this down to the center of the bucket, trying to get it as centered as possible, because that's going to be the main piece holding my structure. After I got this glued down, I went ahead and filled in with scraps to completely fill up the bucket, because I'm going to go back in later on and put some Spanish moss down to cover it all up. So now I think this is a barbecue skewer. I don't remember where I got this, but it's really tall, and you need a tall dowel to hold all of your pumpkins. I went ahead and made a hole first, and then put some hot glue to give it a little bit more stability, and just pushed it down in there. I don't remember how far, y'all. It's been a year. And then I decided the order I wanted my pumpkins and the angle that I wanted them, and I just pushed them down onto this dowel. It took a little bit of effort, and when it comes through the top of this pumpkin, it's going to make a decent size hole. I didn't worry about that too awful much. because I knew it was going to be covered either by the pumpkin or by the decorations that I'm going to put on it. I'm going to do the orange in the middle. And this is topsy-turvy, so I'm doing one way and one the other. And I think this right here is the hardest part of this entire thing. I just used a skewer that I used to put my pumpkins on to dry. Y'all just use some skewers, poke it in the pumpkin after you paint it, and then poke that down into some styrofoam, and that will keep your pumpkins to where they can dry all the way around without having to sit on anything. So getting a little starter hole in there helped a little bit. Come on. Y'all know my motto, if all else fails, smack it. And there we go. And now for the top pumpkin. I'm looking at the dowel and realizing that it is way too tall, and I didn't want the big hole on the top because I didn't exactly know everything that I was going to put on it at the time. So yeah, I decided to take my 10 snips and cut it off. And then I put the green pumpkin on. And realized my mistake. I needed something to go all the way up through to hold it at the right angle. So now I'm taking another one of the skewers that I used to hold the pumpkins to dry, and I'm just going to hot glue that on there. It's going to make a smaller hole than this larger dowel. So I'm just going to hot glue that on there, and then I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape because I didn't want to wait for the glue to dry. And I just wrapped it up so I could continue on. And it worked. It did exactly what I needed it to do. And you'll see a picture of the completed product at the end, and you saw one in the intro. It's all still holding together, doing just fine a year later. And there we go. I'm praying. There we are. And that is going to hold it at the right angle. Don't ask me why I was cleaning that off, because I'm about to snip it off. I want to get it as close to the pumpkin as possible. And y'all, when you're painting, put your paintbrushes in a Ziploc bag until you are completely done with the project, and then you can wash them, because this came in real handy. It still had enough paint on there for me to cover up the top of that dowel. I have these wood pieces from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put one on each pumpkin. I called myself thinking that I was going to cut it out where that was going to go, and I decided not to. I'm just hot gluing it on there. Y'all don't worry about the dowel showing through. We're going to cover that up here in just a little bit. And of course, I would run out of hot glue right in the middle of the project. So just put it on there and hold it till the glue dries, and I did that to all 3 pumpkins. And here's a new angle. You can see how excited I am. I'm putting Spanish moss all the way around the base to cover up all of the styrofoam. Excuse me. And now I'm going back and putting Spanish moss to where you can see the dowel. So I'm just covering that all up, because we don't want to see any of that. Y'all, the Spanish moss gets everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Y'all see in the background, it's getting on mum season. All my mum stuff is in the back. Y'all know I love me some pit berries. I showed y'all that not too long ago on a live. I'm just cut some pieces and I'm wrapping them around the end of a pin to give them some curl. And then I'm just going to glue them around just the back part of the stem and let the curls hang. And that just adds a nice little touch. I don't know what to call stuff like that. I call it sticky outy things. It is what it is. And now I'm realizing that I need to put some Spanish moss up at the top to make it tie all together. I actually have a finger protector on. I don't know if I'm using it correctly or not, but I get an E for effort there. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Proper use of a finger protector. And now I've cut a stem of lamb's ear, and I'm just placing these individual leaves and groups of leaves around each pumpkin stem to give it a little bit more character and look like pumpkin leaves. I know that's not what pumpkin leaves look like, but yeah, I used them, and I think it turned out amazing. So once I got the pumpkin leaves, lamb's ear on, I went to make a bow. And I used the thick twine from Walmart. I tried to tie a bow, actually tie it. And it was just too bulky. It didn't turn out right. So I ended up just making some loops and tying some more twine around the center. Cut off all the ends evenly. Put way too much hot glue because it fell off one time and I had to put it back on there. The glue was still hot enough to grab. Find the front, what I wanted to show, and put that on there. Alright, y'all, that is it. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Go ahead and click the bell and click all so you know every time that I upload or go live. I do lives a lot. So anyway, y'all go get you some pumpkins and make you a pumpkin topiary. Y'all, thanks for joining me, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.